Hello, my name is Madison and I'm in the Walker lab as well. I'm a master's student in the mathematics department. And as Sharmita already talked about, her model relates to this fungus, Aspergillus fumigatus. I'm building a mathematical model that focuses on the fungus rather than the epithelial cells. And I'm also working in Dr. Christopher Lawrence's lab with the help from Brad Howard for experimental aspects of this project. So why do we care about this fungus? Aspergillus fumigatus is a ubiquitous fungus. It's found in every continent, even Antarctica, and we actually inhale several hundred spores of these a day. Once we inhale them, some of them settle into our lungs. For a normal, healthy patient, this isn't an issue. The immune system takes care of it. But for a certain class of people, immunocompromised people, anybody who's undergoing chemotherapy or has AIDS or an organ transplant or a few other things, this can be a really serious and deadly infection. There's a high mortality rate and pretty poor detection strategies. And so, let's see. Recently, elements of the iron regulatory system in this fungus have been identified as virulence factors. So what I did was build a discrete model of this, a mathematical model of the iron regulatory system to try to figure out and better understand what's going on here and see if we can gain any new insights into mechanisms in this system which are hidden in current experimental data. And this model is a very similar framework to the one Sharnita mentioned. It's a time and state discrete dynamical system, which basically means that the nodes in the network, proteins or genes for instance, can only take on a finite number of states. So if you, for instance, wanted to have a gene modeled in this framework, you might decide to only give it two states, 0 and 1, or active or inactive, for instance. And the interactions among proteins in this network are described by logical rules. For instance, you might say expression of protein A upregulates protein B. And this is kind of a qualitative picture of how the model works. And I've gotten some interesting results from looking at the analysis of this. For instance, under sustained high iron conditions, the model predicts oscillatory steady state behavior, which is kind of interesting, and I'm working on validating this prediction in the lab. So if you're interested, come stop by my poster.